To start our Arctic study, we're going to read this book that contains fascinating facts about the landscape, animals, and climate of the Arctic. So when I first look at the cover of this book, I look at the title and it says, Welcome to the Ice House. It's written by Jane Yolen, who is the author. She wrote the words in the book, and it's illustrated by Laura Regan. And the illustrator is the person who draws the pictures in the book. So I look at the title and I say to myself, I wonder why the words ice and house are in all caps, all capital letters. And I look at the picture and I realize, wow, it looks like these polar bears are in an ice house. And I think to the Arctic and how the weather there is usually very, very cold and how it's a land of ice. But something interesting to know about the words ice house is that long ago, before people used refrigerators, they used ice houses to keep their food cold. So a lot of times they would be maybe in the cellar, which is in the basement, which is in the bottom of the house, and they would have huge blocks of ice to keep their food cold and preserve their food. Or sometimes they were in separate buildings, hence the word house. It could be a separate building where they'd have blocks of ice where they would store their food. If any of you saw the movie Frozen, in the very beginning, you see these workers as there's music playing, and they're chopping ice from way up in the north, and they're chopping it into these blocks that almost look like squares or rectangles, and they're throwing them into the back of their vehicle, whatever they're driving, to transport them, or it could be their sleds, or I can't remember exactly what it was, and they're transporting them probably to ice houses. So that's very interesting. So if you saw that, you saw firsthand what those blocks of ice look like. So let's read our book. And we will go to the title page, which also says, Welcome to the Ice House. And we notice that it's all, it almost looks like clouds or ice or snow, right? It's all white. And here we go. So it says, Welcome to the Ice House, the snow and wintry blowhouse, where shades of white illuminate the lengthy winter night. So we have some rhyming words on this page. We have white and night, and we notice that it's H-I-T-E here and it's I-G-H-T here. So they're not the same letters, but they have the same sound. And if you don't know what the word illuminate means, we can see this part of the page illuminated by the moon. So it's giving it light and making it bright. So on the next page, I want you to give me a thumbs up on the rhyming words you hear. Where well below the snowscape caper lemmings in long tunnels, racing through the runnels. Very good with the thumbs up. So we see tunnels and runnels. So runnels are this part below where water can kind of seep through and go through, sort of like a water tunnel, right? So caper lemmings racing through the runnels to escape the singular Arctic fox on the prowl. So the lemmings are these small rodent-like Arctic animals, kind of like Arctic mice. And we see that this one singular Arctic fox is on the prowl. So if he's on the prowl, look at his stance. He looks very serious. He looks like he's looking for something. So I think that he's actually a predator, right? He's an animal that's looking to eat something. He's hunting and he's looking for some prey, which here would be the lemmings that are hiding under here. Or the howling wolf pack sniffing out the track of snowshoe hare or so snowshoe hare is here, or ptarmigan, white as winter tide, but beware. So here we see pack and track. A pack has an ACK and track has an ACK, and they rhyme. And we see ptarmigan, this is an interesting word, it's P-T-A-R. M-I-G-N. And we usually don't see a P-T consonant blend, but that P is silent. So it's almost as it just says ptarmigan here. So why do you think all these animals are white. It says they're white as winter tide. They all blend in with the environment, which means that they all have a way to camouflage, to hide from their predators. Beware. For behind stalks a lynx. Now quick, now slow, now silent as snow. So where have you heard the word beware before? Maybe you've seen it on a sign that says beware of the dog. So beware means be careful, be wary of this animal. You don't want to get too close or touch it. You want to protect yourself. So in the same way that you must beware of the lynx if you are the prey of the lynx. But all give way, fox, lemming, lynx, hare, to a ton of unpredictable moose on the loose. That's a huge, beautiful moose with beautiful antlers. Wow. So we have moose and loose that rhyme, and they're both O-O-S-E, O-O-S-E. Or the hungry, tireless polar bear. Yet this is not just a landscape of snow, blue sky above, or ice below. The Arctic seas, I was looking at the seals. The Arctic seas are blue and black. Beyond the ice crack swim gray and brown seals, spotted seal, ring seal, and harp. So this is what's called their ice hole, their breathing hole. And it's very interesting because when I was doing some research on these seals, because I wasn't sure which was which, I noticed that this one is actually the ring seal. I thought it was a spotted seal, but it has little rings on it. And it says the ring seal will blow bubbles up the ice hole to check for their main predator, which is the polar bear. So this means the polar bear eats the seal. So the polar bear is the predator and the seal is the prey. And slickly black, sleekly white, hunting through the lengthy Arctic night, sure as an arrow's arc. Along the ocean trails, south of the ice, come the streamlined killer whales. So we see they're slickly black and they're sleekly white. And when they're streamlining, they're almost going in the shape of an arc. They're going like this, and they're moving fast and easily against the wind and the water in a pattern. Here too swim dense herds, immense, huge herds of baggy-skinned, saggy-skinned, rust-colored walrus, strutting ivory tusks for defense. So if I did not know what the word defense meant, I would say, let me look at these ivory tusks. They look sharp, and they look like they can protect the walrus. Above in the sky, gyrfalcon sails, and down below, beluga whales. So we have sails and whales, A-I-L-S and A-L-E-S, singing like giant birds, welcoming the return of a moment of spring. So this gyrfalcon, it's G-Y-R, which we usually don't see as a prefix in words either, and it's pronounced gyr. It's one of the largest falcons of its species, and you can't really tell in this picture how large it is. And here we see it sailing over the land, and it says, for as if on a single day, spring and summer return together. So just like a singular Arctic fox, that one. So as if on one single day, one day, spring and summer return together. So I guess it happens fast. It's winter for a very long time, and then really fast, spring and summer just are in one. So it's almost like it's just summer. And this falcon is, the gyrfalcon is the predator of a ptarmigan, that little white bird we saw earlier, the hair in the corner. The weather softens, warms, and swarms. Lots of poppies and lupin burst open, and they grow, an explosion of color where once grew only ice and snow. Then caribou with hooves like thunder, loud, crossed the tundra. So these caribou, they're also in herds. They're groups of animals traveling together. And the grizzly bear rises from its winter nap, grubbing roots, grabbing voles. So voles are also rodents, just like mice, and other small mammals from their holes. So he's digging in these holes. So I wasn't sure what voles were. And it says in other small mammals from their holes, I would know that it's a small animal from a hole, because it kind of tells me right here, right after, that it says grabbing voles. Birds return to iceless lakes and snowless cliffs. Swans, so I know these are swans. And then it says puffins, loons, and arctic terns, who journey from pole to pole, to rest, to nest. So we have rest and nest as our rhyming words. EST, EST. And there are only 4 different birds in this picture that I can tell. So I know that this is a loon, because when I was younger I saw one in person in a pond. And I know that these are puffins and these are swans. So if I did not know what an arctic tern was, I would know that this other bird is the arctic tern. And then brief moment. So very short amount of time, brief. And moment also means a small amount of time. Summer is gone. Winter comes again and lingers on and on. So we have gone and on that rhyme. In the cold house, the ice house, the snow and wintry blow house. Welcome to the ice house and the long winter night. That is the end of the book. So this book circles through winter, and then it goes back to when it's summer, and it shows us very briefly, only on a few pages, when it's summer, and then it goes back to the cold. And it calls it a wintry blow house. So wintry, we know winter, cold, and blow. What do we know that blows in the weather is the wind. So it's windy and cold, and it welcomes us to the ice house. It welcomes us to the Arctic. Well, I hope you enjoyed the book, and we'll discuss it more in a few minutes. Thank you.